Who do you think is the most effective jungler heroes and the least effective this season? The meta is a bit confusing right now, and it's unclear whether assassins or utility junglers are dominating. So, in this video, we're going to rank all the junglers from the most overpowered to the least effective this season. Let's start with Fanny, absolutely OP. Well, everyone knows it. A high-level Fanny is terrifying in ranked matches. That's why she's still a top-tier pick, even after her recent damage nerfs. Actually, you don't need to be super fast hands with Fanny. As long as your cables are accurate, and you put 2 prey stacks before using your ult, you're good. Next is Lukas, still broken. Lukas' jungle is super tough to deal with because of his multiple CC immunity and crazy damage, so he's still auto-banned on ranked matches and even in the pro scene. Lukas becomes even more dangerous when paired with healer supports that boost his sustainability, creating more chances for outplays. With a healer support like Estes, you can just use Temporal Rain as your talent since you already have healing. Faster cooldowns on your skills will be more beneficial, especially knowing how strong Lukas skill 1 and skill 2 are. Next, we've got Suyou in the meta picks tier. When it comes to retry battles, Suyou stands out as a jungler who can consistently secure the turtle or lord easily. And on top of that, he gets a huge early game power spike from his immortal form, boosting both his damage and durability. He may have lost the magic defense from his immortal form due to the recent nerf, but Suyou is still a strong meta pick. And I know I still owe you all a full in-depth guide on Suyou, and I'll work on it right after we finish all the tier lists. Freya, great pick. A lot of players one-trick Freya to reach Mythical Immortal easily because she's insanely strong from early to late game. Even 5-man pro player teams in ranked are banning her. She's also one of the strongest picks for solo rank, so poisons along or any 1 versus 1 matchup isn't really a problem for her. The only downside of Freya, and the reason she's rarely seen in the pro scene, is that she's too easy to counter. Long duration crowd control like Tigreal, or heroes who slow her basic attacks like Hylos can easily shut her down. Without any CC to stop her, you'll definitely be surprised by how strong her basic attacks are. One more thing, I just noticed her skill 2 target indicator is super cute. Next is Aulus, great pick as well. Actually, Aulus' win rate has been steadily increasing, and she's now ranked number 9 among the highest win rate heroes overall. This is mainly because many meta heroes got nerfed or are frequently banned, making Aulus a great pick for jungle, especially in solo or duo queue. Aulus becomes even stronger when paired with Angela, so if you have a duo, you definitely need to try this powerful Aulus-Angela combo. But the reason we only placed her under great picks is because she has a very slow early game, relies on leash to farm efficiently, and also has a lot of counters. But if we're talking about solo rank meta picks, Aulus is definitely one of them. I'm not sure if everyone's already familiar with the smooth wall mechanics of Aulus skill 1, commonly known as the wall trick. I don't know if this is a bug, but this is a huge help because it prevents you from getting stuck on walls, and it even lets you phase through more smoothly, catching enemies off guard. Next is Joy, OP tier. Joy remains a threat in the current meta. Her multiple dashes and consistent magic damage make her hard to deal with, and despite her recent nerf on his magic scaling, her overall burst damage remains top tier. Just a quick add-on to the dash trick I shared, you can pop your ultimate early if you're chasing someone. With the help of Temporal Rain, your skill 2 will finish its cooldown right after your ultimate ends, letting you dash again immediately. Moving on to Hanzo, meta pick. Although Hanzo's ultimate movement speed and energy consumption were nerfed, they made his skill cooldowns much faster in the late game, and I really prefer the faster cooldown now because you can spam it in the late game, which is a huge help for poking and picking off enemies. Plus, they added extra energy gain whenever his skill 2 hits an enemy, which is a great help for energy sustainability. Just a quick note on Hanzo, he struggles a bit in the early game, so just focus on farming during the first few minutes. Julian, still a meta pick. His enhanced skill 2 has an unfair outplay potential, especially in the late game, because of its massive damage and spell vamp, which can micro 5 enemies even under the tower. And in the early game, it's his enhanced skill 1 that helps Julian secure early kills and pickoffs because of its massive damage. Even if you miss, the enhanced basic attack is there to finish the job. Moving on to Ling, still a solid meta pick. Ling's still a top meta jungler, but let's be honest, only a few players can really bring out his full potential. Personally, I find Ling even harder than Fanny, but once you master him, you'll be able to carry even dark system games. Meanwhile, Hayabusa is now on the worst picks list.
What?
Just kidding, he's actually super OP. His shadow kill is ridiculously strong. With just one tap, you can get a kill without needing to pull off 4 blades or straight cable freestyle TikTok combo. So for sure, Hayabusa will continue to be banned. Hopefully, they'll find a way to nerf him a bit so he can be more open for picks in ranked. Meanwhile, Baxia just made his comeback to the meta. Baxia is now being used as an answer to assassin junglers, particularly Hayabusa. No matter how much he jumps around with his shadows, Baxia can just roll his way to him easily. And, aside from the fact that Hayabusa can't just dive in, since hitting Baxia with his shadow triggers an instant stun from his skill 1, he's also incredibly tanky, making all assassins or any damage dealers to think twice before jumping in. The current Baxia's tankiness and damage feel just like the old Hylos, super hard to kill that slowly drains your HP until you die. Actually, Baxia doesn't just apply healing reduction, he also has damage reduction, making him super strong at sustaining in team fights. Another one returning to the meta is Fredrinn. Fredrinn is a nightmare for assassin junglers, particularly Joy, because he can easily stun lock anyone with his multiple crowd controls. What makes Fredrinn great is that besides his crowd control and sustain, he still deals solid damage in team fights, even with a tank build. Also, the recent update that buffed Fredrinn's jungle speed lets him rotate around the map quickly, and that's one of the reasons he's a solid meta pick right now. And next is Alpha, still a solid meta pick. If utility junglers counter assassins, then Alpha is the answer to utility junglers and tanky heroes, because his damage output is mostly true damage. With tanky fighters dominating the EXP lane meta, Alpha easily melts them down because their armor is useless against him, especially Glue, who practically helps Alpha with spell vamp through his spread. Fighter junglers are also super strong in solo rank because of their powerful AoE skills, and they're way easier to play compared to assassins. Meanwhile, Lancelot holds his spot in the good tier. Compared to the assassins mentioned earlier, Lancelot has clearly been left behind. One wrong move and you're out of dashes, unlike others who can recover or escape more easily. Although he's just in the good pick tier, Lancelot is actually a solid matchup against Hayabusa. It's all mind games on who uses Shadow Kill or Thorned Rose first. As for YSS, he's currently sitting in the great pick tier. Moonton's been doing everything to push Yi Sun Shin back into the meta, buffing him multiple times, but he still barely shows up in the pro scene and mainly shines in solo rank. But YSS is still a solid pick with his super fast farming and how smooth he feels to use now. Hopefully, we get to see YSS show up in the upcoming pro scene matches. Meanwhile, Harley joins Lancelot in the good picks tier. Harley doesn't work well in high rank, where players have great mechanics and can easily block his skills, especially with tanky heroes ruling the meta. But against easier lineups, or in Mythic and below, Harley dominates since most players pick damage heroes like Zilong, Hanabi, or Yin on that rank, and tanky picks are rare there. Harley is often picked to counter Hanzo, but remember, Hanzo can easily dodge his ult's explosion since he's untargetable when returning to his body. So, you have to kill Hanzo's shadow form first for your ult to actually kill Hanzo. After the buff, Leomord now sits among the great picks. Leomord still needs a bit more buff to make it into the meta, but right now he can definitely keep up. He struggles if he doesn't get a good early farm, but overall he's solid for solo queue. Next is San, average tier. Sun is strong in the late game, but his early game impact is limited, so he needs to farm really hard in the early to mid game. Without a solid teammate early on, it's tough for him to keep up. San also struggles to make successful ganks in side lanes, and it makes things worse when your side laners are already losing. It really affects the game's momentum. Same goes for Aulus, Baelmond, and Yin. It's pretty clear they're not effective in high ranks. You mostly see them in low ranks since they're beginner-friendly heroes. Next is Xborg, making his comeback in the meta. Same concept with Alpha. X-Borg punishes tanky heroes, and with the recent buffs to his initial armor scaling from max HP and his skill 2, he's back as a top-tier threat. You rarely see X-Borg picked these days, and I'd say he's pretty underrated this patch. Just look at how tanky and annoying he gets, especially when he's got immortality. Next is Bane, who's sitting in the great picks tier right now. He's still super solid for solo rank because of his fast pushing capability and that annoying ultimate that can interrupt key enemy skills. Next up is Nolan, also a great pick. Nolan is still super solid as a one-hit combo assassin. Hard to catch and easier to use than most meta picks. He's not as OP, but when the top assassins are banned, he's a reliable alternative. Meanwhile, Karina and Eamon both sit in the good picks tier. They perform well in lower ranks, but once you hit higher rank games, using them effectively gets a lot harder. But of course, if the enemy team is full of squishy heroes, they're still solid picks. As for the worst junglers this season, Gusion sits at the bottom with one of the lowest win rates. He's currently one of the least effective junglers in the meta, which is why you rarely see him anymore, unless it's a scripted match or used by a top global player. So here's the complete jungle tier list we've put together for this patch. We skipped the heroes that aren't really relevant in the current meta, but always remember, everything still depends on how well you use the hero. Drop a like and subscribe if this video helped you out. And if you have something to say about our tier list, feel free to comment below.